All right, well, it is promptly at 11 and we're going to go ahead and get started today. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be going through the R1 single plot research combine. First, we're going to start with just some housekeeping, general introductions and welcomes. Then we're going to get into features and benefits of the machine, talk about the multi-crop configurations, talk a little bit about the support that you can expect with this type of machine, and then also getting into the incentive programs that we have, as well as a few new announcements for the day as well. You're going to want to definitely stick around for that. But at the end, we're going to open it up for Q&A as well. So thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. Just a little bit about ALMACO. I know a lot of folks are familiar with ALMACO, some folks aren't, but we are a total solutions provider for all of your seed research needs. Anything from seed processing systems, planting systems, field systems, and harvesting systems throughout your crop cycle is something that we support for seed research. We also have a very robust aftermarket service, custom engineering, quality manufacturing, and financial services available as well. Today, we're focusing on one component of the ALMACO total solution, but happy to discuss any additional areas of interest at a later time. Today, we have a panel of experts. Todd Vincent is our executive sales lead here. He's going to be taking us through a lot of the information about the product and the technical information about R1. We also have Matt Titus. He is the service director here at ALMACO. He's going to talk a little bit about the service program here. And then I am Lisa Dirksen. I'm the marketing manager here at ALMACO as well. Again, just a little housekeeping. I know we're all pretty familiar with Zoom, but just in case, we are going to have all participants muted for this event. We will ask that the Q&A happens in the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to ask any questions at any time during the presentation. Just know that we're going to address them towards the end of the presentation. If you do have any issues with technical issues or things that you have different questions for that are outside of the Q&A structure, things that are just about needing some support, there's also a chat feature at the bottom of your screen as well that can function there. So feel free to communicate in that way. Also, within 48 hours of the event, you'll be receiving a recording of this webinar, some information about the R1 in the form of webpage, brochures, things like that, and then also a link to request additional information or quoting. And with that, we'll get into the meat of the presentation here, talking about the features and benefits, and I'll pass it over to Todd Vincent.
Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate everybody coming today for our webinar. And I'm actually the senior global sales executive for ALMACO. And we're going to go through today the R1 single plot research combine. So just to give you a background, the traditional combines that we've been running have been basically an enclosed cylinder and concave. We went to the rotor technology several years ago with both the R1, which is a single plot, and our R2, which is a twin plot. And so we're going to work a lot today and just discuss the R1 single combine itself on the Rotary. And one thing that you'll notice is it is the throughput for harvesting faster and cleaner samples, the way that it's designed. It operates much faster at speeds. Less damage because of the rotor, much cleaner samples for your better data collection, and nice, easier clean out, especially for those with the foundation seed groups. So just an overall profile of the combine itself. So if you look to the right, you'll see the photo of the machine itself from the left-hand side. This particular unit has a row crop head on it. We've got all kinds of different quick change headers. So it is a quick change, more like a commercial machine. You can see we've got the rounded glass cab, automated cyclone, that's electrically, basically it tucks away under the profile of the top height of 10'3" for transport, and then electrically comes up and connects. High speed unload auger, 40 bushel grain tank, We run all of our R1s with the advanced Torque King 4-wheel drive. We don't make a 2-wheel drive version. And also the front wheel drive on the front axles. So some key highlights. It is a top-fed axial rotor design. Most of your rotors feed from the bottom. Ours is a unique design that allows us to have that clean out for each crop and each plot. It is a true multiple crop capability combine. We've been running everything from canola, camelina, all the way up to sunflowers, corn, soybeans, sorghum, all your small grains through these machines over the years. We do have an internal conveyor belt, which helps us with the optimum seed transfer. We can control the speed once it gets through the sieve to that air column cleaning system, which helps us with our plot speed in our shorter times. It is a streamlined design. You can see it's very smooth and flat on the edges, especially in corn, sunflowers, where we're not damaging those adjacent border plots or plots if we're doing 2 rows. It's a very simple and basic maintenance, very few grease zerks. The way it's designed, less jack shafts, belts, drives on this particular. And it's also set up as a microcontrolled based operating system. It's very intuitive. It's more of a commercial brand that you can basically run the machine with. So for power, we've gone to Cummins on all of our R-series combines, and in even some of our commercial design machines too. This is a 3.8 liter. It is a tier 4 final engine. You can see from the top right-hand picture, the top assembly just folds down. It's got an built-in ladder assembly. You can walk up and change filters or do any sort of maintenance from the rear of the combine. Most of the daily checks are from the ground, and so you're not even having to get up here, but we do have access. On the 4-wheel drive, the lower right, you can see it's a very beefy axle with our 4-wheel drive. We're on the Polk Lane brand drive motors and electrically controlled hydraulics. So in the cab itself, this is from the driver's view. On the picture to the right, you'll see the main microprocessor controller that's basically running all the settings for the combine, your diagnostics, your error messages, your engine control codes. And then above it, we've got this selection of either the ALMACO electronics or the Harvest Master electronics. And so it is in the cab itself. It's a very big cab. It's 106 cubic feet, expanded curved glass. You can see from the vision of this particular person from the right side, it's a very, very nice vision for going through the plots and for safety wise. We've got a flip up secondary seat, telescoping wheel, all your premium radio, cup holder, storage bins, and all your one-touch adjustments right from the screen. So the Rotary itself is, like I said, newer technology, and it's our design that we're going to continue down this path on our R1 and R2 brand combines. So in the past and currently, we used to use, and a lot of our competitors use, conventional threshing cylinder, where you basically, the picture to the right, you're basically feeding from a feeder apron belt into a lower concave that's adjustable into a metal rasp bar enclosed cylinder. They're easy to manufacture. One thing that's nice is the rotor itself has the conventional cylinder requires a higher horsepower, plus higher RPMs to thresh the grain. It requires a really tight tolerance. Sometimes you're in green stem material, you can get material wrapped around where that belt is leading into that concave lip and then into the cylinder. It does increase the seed damage because of the speed of the cylinder. It's a little lower capacity, and it's a slower throughput. With the rotor technology, and this is looking at from the rear of the combine, our rotors are really unique because they require, we can run a lower RPM. Where normally in soybean harvest, you're between 500 and 650 RPMs as far as your speed on your conventional. We can be down in that 450 to 500 range. It is a top fed axial rotor. It is 15.5-inch diameter by 99 inches long. So you have all that distance or that length to thresh that material, and it can do it very gently with that lower speed. The seed loss also is better because we've got all that length to be able to either open that pod or shell that ear through, and it gives us a better quality with that lower speed. Very easy as a multiple crop. There's 5 concaves. They slide out the rear. We have a single sieve instead of a twin sieve, where you'd have your top and bottom sieves. So that helps with our throughput. We're seeing about a 30% increase in throughput time it hits that nose cone of that rotor until it's out the rear of the combine. Harvesting with this, we run our airlock right below our internal conveyor belt. As the seed dumps into the airlock, we're metering that in our airlock system to help prevent any plugging. And we can safely move about 8 pounds per second. It's a very fast machine and high capacity. So the rotor itself, this is the advancement we've done where it's a top fed rotor. So we're feeding it from the top, and then it allows us to have a very tight tolerance around the vane of the rotor itself. And we have multiple different vanes, either smooth, the serrated, a chamfered vane for different types of crops, depends on the stem size and how it's being fed. We're using, if you're using an increased harvest window, the rotor can get into that field a little earlier in the day and stay a little longer in the day. When you get that moisture or you have that buildup of moisture in the morning, or it starts to come in at night, especially in soybean harvest, over the conventional cylinder, you're going to see that increase in harvest window. Like I said, it is a self-cleaning patented rotary technology that we have here to make sure that you're cleaning those samples between plot to plot. It is faster, more efficient. It's just better results with less time. So this is kind of doing a performance comparison. The rotary combine itself, like I said, with the advanced air column cleaning system and the air delivery system, we're seeing about a 30% faster throughput from the time we cut that plant at the header and time it's in your bag after sampling. So the pictures below, just seeing a right profile of the machine. As you can see, we don't use any screens or anything for the rotary screen. It's got a hydraulic controlled fan, which is very nice for cleaning those screens, keeps a very smooth design on both the left and right. You can see the nice access as you open up the guards to be able to access the combine from the left or right side. And then the right picture shows our air delivery system, which is hydraulically driven, which depending on the R1 or R2 has 3 to 4 different speeds for that multiple crop application. Through the bottom, we're showing some sample cleanliness compared to our closest competitor. We're very high on our cleanliness, closer to that 99%. Seed damage is lower, 1%, less than 1%, compared to 2.5 on some of our conventional cylinder combines. Harvest time, 10-second plots. This is on 20 plot average. That's more of a 12 to 15 foot plot timing line. Bulk harvest with the advanced air delivery system, we can see some increase. If you have some plots where you have a lot of bulk at the end, maybe at a cooperator station, that's a good advantage to have that, especially in high moisture corn. Ground speed, it's nice if you happen to be at the university farm or the USDA farm and you house your equipment and you're just going to the field. You're not having to trailer it. We're running higher speeds with the engine and our drive package, which allows you to go up to 12 miles per hour to that field. And then the plot loss itself in regards to anything off the back with the rotor, you have a lot more distance there that you can adjust, lower speed, more threshing ability, so we can decrease our losses out of the rear of the combine. So let's talk about multiple crop configurations. So one thing we do with our innovative control system and with our headers is it is an auto recognition. So with our R1 and R2 combines, we can run several different headers. It knows what that header is as a profile in the screen. So on the corn side, as you can see to the right, we run a lot of poly snouts. They're custom built for us. We run the John Deere and Comer corn head row units. They're all quick attach right at the base with the jack stands, and we put forklift pockets in the back to move the headers also, which is a nice feature. We currently make a 2-row 30, 3-row 20, and a 4-row 52 centimeters. So if you have some South America applications, we've got a corn header for that currently. On our row crop head, which we're known for throughout the industry and the soybean industry, we have a patented belt design. Our row crops are floating. You can see we don't run a gauge wheel on the side. We run a rotary, actually disc. It's actually got spring tension that's adjustable, and it actually allows you to cut closer to the ground, float, and be able, instead of shearing through those lower pods in the soybeans, we can get those complete plants in the combine itself. Currently, we make a fixed row 30. We do make an adjustable fixed row, or I'm sorry, a flexible row spacing of 30 to 40. We make a 40-inch fixed row for down south, and we also make a 50 centimeter offset for our friends in South America. So these are commonly used for soybeans. We do have a lot of application where we have really short dry bean applications up in Canada and up north. That they like the row crop head to be able to get all of those beans and that entire plant into the combine itself. We also make a floating standard auger header with the unit itself. It prevents a lot of bridging and material hang up with the auger. We're saving a lot. We can cut very low to the ground. It's also a floating application with the sickle knife. We've got units with air jets on it, without air jets on it. And we make that with multiple different widths, 60-inch, 69, 76, and 96. Then we come to our most popular header, our newest header. It's about a 5 to 6 year. It's been in the industry, which is more of a draper header. We don't need the air delivery or air cleanout on this particular header. It can be floating to rigid, so it allows you to go from small grains down to soybeans. And it also has a sickle bar. It has a large range of the sickle bar, especially if we go into multiple head sizes for a 60-inch and an 84-inch. We're using this for basically small grains, dry beans, peas, all the way up to your soybeans. Our newest header that was developed a couple of years ago, we took our row crop design and we made an actual new sunflower header. Of course, sunflowers depends on whether you're doing oils or confections. They both, especially on the confection seed, the heads are very large. We've got a cage assembly to keep all that material and those heads in the machine, an auger and a beater bar to actually bring it back, and a modified row crop to actually grab that plant, keep those heads without the front sunflower tray pans. So we've increased the sidewall height to keep those heads in. You can see it's a custom design on our snout assemblies, our center snout, our middle snout, and our outside snouts. One thing it does is it really assists sunflower heads. We're using a rotary knife and we're using the gathering belts and conveyor system to bring that right to the rotor. The other latest innovation that we've done is we've had a lot of clients ask us for a pickup head. You might have some small grains that you actually windrow. You need to pick it up. We've got some folks that are doing some increases in soybeans to where they like to cut them green, let them dry, and then pick them up. So this is a drawing of the physical system itself. We're running a double apron with the tine pickups, and we're using this to basically be in a situation where you're not harvesting direct. You're actually windrowing, letting that being cut at a high moisture, maybe an early maturity, and then let it sit on top of the ground and dry. And currently this is designed to do some soybeans, small grains, canola. We specifically designed this for safflower. We've got some camelina and grass seed also. So let's talk about the combine electronics. And so ALMACO, we're a supplier of both the on the harvesting solutions. So on our handheld computers, we run the mobile demand with the ALMACO system, which is a rugged military grade tablet that we use with our Vantage HD software and ALMACO data collection that we do in-house. We also have the Vantage HD harvest software, which we develop in-house that's linked to all of your harvesting needs. We're also a full dealer and distributor of the Harvest Master system. So this is showing up a Mesa Pro with the Mira software. So any one of those packages, depending on your application, we're able to install on our R1 series combines. So on the Harvest Master side, some of the innovative features that we've used on our R1 is the classic model. And we also have the classic model that you can actually adapt with the SIO. And the SIO is a new feature that they have for NIR that you can do your intrinsic trait collection for both a library of moisture, protein, oil, and starch. A lot of the key features with the Mesa Pro, you have a lot of automatic plot measurements, very accurate, very fast in speed. Like to be able to use it in both the combination of strip mode or just normal plot mode. And we can do a lot of multiple sample capabilities that we can run conditional actions within ALMACO to do different features and collections within the combine itself. So on the ALMACO side, ours would be the D1 data collection system. And this is for you folks that have the LRX seed specter that end of life was in January of 2025. This would be the upgrade that we would change over from your LRX. What's nice about this is it is an integrated user interface. It's easy to calibrate. It's all built-in diagnostics. There's no internal battery like the LRX had, so you don't have any risk of losing your moisture curves or your calibration curves with a power loss. It is a more durable design. We don't need to have this in front of your eyesight. As you can see, the aluminum enclosed container can be mounted, in the cab, below the seat, outside, in the unit itself, and everything is integrated within the mobile demand or the Tough book itself, or the Tough unit itself. So we've got this data capture set up to virtually all the crops that you have used in the past, and it's compatible with your plot combines. We've made portable threshing units that are sitting right beside a thresher. We also can be integrated into seed processing, and we've got it set up to run our packaging units. So let's talk about some of the advantages of some of the upgrades and accessories that come with the R1. So one thing that's unique about it is for safety wise, on our older machines, you would have to actually get out of the cab and actually fold the cyclone up and connect it. This R1, it's got a camera that's in the actual cab itself for the operator. The air tube actually electrically moves down into a park mode. with a sensor, and then the cyclone actually goes back into that pocket right above the R1 emblem, and it tucks right in there in the grain tank. So that allows you to be in your 10.3 on a 36-inch trailer, and you're under your 13.6 for legal height. Other options is we can do any sort of in-cab bagging funnel, adapters, all kinds of different bags, envelopes, smaller, large, for collecting grain, either a one person with a manual valve, one person with electric valve, or there's a buddy seat in there to actually have that second person. We also have the packaging technology, which is our patent, which is the APX. This is basically eliminating that second person. It's more of a one-person operation. It's right in the cab. It's a bag that we produce with a barcode. It's connected to your plot number. You can have that all set up. You can actually automatically just do a percentage, a volumetric of the sample size. Maybe it's only 1 to 3 pounds that you like. If your sample's 8, it'll discard to the grain tank, or you can do a full bag sample with it. We've got 3 different sizes of bags that basically collect a 3, up to 9, or up to 12 pound sample. And we have different color configurations. So maybe you have a trait that you want one year. You want to make that yellow, red, blue, orange, green. We have lots of different options for you. The bags have holes in those. They're perforated basically to tear off within the packager, and the packagers have rolls that are pre-printed and pre-numbered to the bags that, depending on the size of bags, we'll select for you. So with the packager option, or if you're just bagging samples, it is nice with the R1, we have 2 different options. We have a tote option that's on the right. There's a sliding door right at your feet. You can open that door, put your samples in your totes, leave your tote on the ground, move your second tote up, and just continue through the field. If you want to do more of an automated system, there is a dump hopper here that's going to hold between 100 and 125 3-pound bags that hydraulically dumps at a 72-inch dump height. So you can either have a buckhorn box or a plastic bin in the field at each end, or on a 5th wheel trailer, and you can dump right into it. So that eliminates some of that strenuous work of pulling totes back and forth and moving those plastic bags. So sieves, the Grappel is a brand that a lot of the research companies use. The top right-hand picture is a fixed hole. So we're using the fixed hole sieves for, depending on the millimeter size of the actual seed itself. So this could be anywhere from a 4 millimeter all the way up to a 32 millimeter sieve, depending on what you use. We also have a pretty unique design where used to have the galvanized metal tines for the Carter style adjustable fingers. We went to more of a lighter plastic aluminum frame fingers, and we both have a short and a long finger design for multiple applications. So this shows a picture of an R1 with the Harvest Master Classic grain gauge. As you can see, it's tucked just outside the cab. It has a glass door that we've opened here. It does give you full accessibility here to where I can check any of my calibrations on my test weight chamber or my weight chamber. I can close that glass window, door assembly. I can visually see it as I'm walking through the field, but it also has the ability to keep that dust and debris out of the cab. Below that, we have a little teeter-totter door that basically you can either send sample directly to the grain tank, collect a full subsample, collect a partial subsample, or collect a full sample right in the cab. So if you're in a situation to where your research requires a crop destruct or seed devitalization, We do have a roller mill that's hydraulically driven that tucks right underneath the outlet of the cleanout for the grain tank that we can tuck behind that front right drive tire. It's pivoted, so you can unlock it, bring it out, do any cleaning, any maintenance, check your magnets, do anything there, plus have full access to the grain tank clean out on the transfer auger, and then also access to your access panel for your concaves and nose of the front sieve. On the rear, if you have some cooperators, we have a normal just guide funnel that comes off the back of the rotors itself that allows that debris to go over the top of that axle and follow behind the combine. If you have cooperators or in your research, you want to make sure that that is you don't have those what I call little beaver huts behind the combine at each plot. We use a rotary knife that's hydraulically driven. It's got adjustable stationary knives down below with quick releases to where we can have 3 different points of how depth that stationary knife is with the rotary knives. That's going to produce either a finer cut or a larger cut of the stem and material. It swings out and locks in place, so it's very easy. You don't have to disconnect any drive circuits or anything of that nature. It is tied to a sensor that knows it's in place, and this allows you full access to the back of the combine.
Perfect. Thank you, Todd. Now that we've kind of taken an overview of the R1 combine, we want to take a second to transition into the service that we offer here at ALMACO. And so we'll pass it over to Matt Titus.
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I'm Matt Titus. I'm the service director here at ALMACO. Just want to take a little bit of time and talk about what we offer as a service department. So one thing I want to really hit on is we offer global support. And what does that mean? It means 24/7, 365. We have technical support representatives on call to best assist you with your needs. If you need on-site service, we are set up to have one of our trained field service technicians on site as fast as possible to provide resolutions for your down equipment. So one thing I want to highlight is last year we were able to provide on-site service on 6 different continents. And how do we do that? We strategically have 3 different locations on 2 continents that we were able to dispatch parts and technicians from. Our first and foremost global headquarters of ALMACO is here in Nevada, Iowa. This is our main production facility for all of our equipment and parts. This is also where we house our engineering staff to aid in any customization or to develop new products. Lastly, our main central service department is located here that's capable of handling any repair or service for ALMACO equipment. Our second location, which has been around for about 10 years now, is in Uberlândia, Brazil. Here we are able to manufacture smaller products and parts. This is also one of our other service centers and parts depots. Lastly is our newest location in Chacabuco, Argentina. And this location serves as a service center and parts depot as well. So within our service department, we have 3 primary departments to better serve you. So we have our call center, central service, and field service. Our call center is staffed with knowledgeable professionals that are on call 24/7 to support you with ordering parts, scheduling service, technical support, or aftermarket questions. With our central service locations located in Iowa, Brazil, and Argentina, we can not only support clients with repairs and routine maintenance, but also equipment upgrades and customization. Lastly, our field service department is full of expert field service technicians that are able to provide service support and repairs on site or in the field. So wherever you're working, our capable team will keep your equipment running. I'd like to talk a little bit about our preventative maintenance packages. So we're going to highlight mainly our plot harvesters and our plot planters here. So as part of our pledge to keep your equipment up and running to its optimal performance, we offer preventative maintenance packages that can be performed in field or in one of our central service locations. For harvesters, this package will include a 118-point holistic inspection and calibration, parts and labor for maintenance checks, so things such as oil and filters, routine cleaning, and standard maintenance, which would include belt tensioning or greasing bearings, etc. For planners, it's much of the same, but it includes 136-point holistic inspection, calibration, parts and labor maintenance checks, routine cleaning, and standard maintenance. So as part of our commitment to industry leading support, we pledge to have the right parts right now. So what this means is we pay close attention to what parts are needed seasonally to make sure that we have an adequate inventory of those items during peak seasons to reduce your downtime and to keep you running. We also offer the best in-class warranty for exceptional peace of mind on parts and repairs performed by ALMACO to provide exceptional peace of mind. We want you to feel as confident in your equipment as we feel in providing it to you. Another way we are able to offer exceptional support is through our telematics system. So telematics is the system that provides remote access to real-time data on machine settings, uptime performance, efficiency, location, software, and diagnostics. Since we implemented telematics on our R-Series combines, we have been able to resolve 30% of our service-related cases without dispatching a field tech. So this saves the client money and reduces downtime. We are also able to push software updates remotely without an on-site visit, saving time and money. And as a bonus to you, the client, you are able to access your own dashboard to monitor your equipment in real time. That will allow you to provide operational recommendations to machine operators for best seed trials.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. Next, we'll run into a little bit about our incentive programs and current programs that we're running. We'll transition that back to Todd Vincent.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. So we talked about the D1 package we've got for our harvesting data collection system. And so we've got a savings plan incentive right now to where if you've got a fleet of these up from 2, 3, 4, 8 plus. So you can actually receive a fleet discount on the purchase of multiple D1 units. And so we've got a 10% off on your quantities there shown 2 to 3, 15% off for 4 to 8, and 20% off if you order 8 or more units. And must be able to take at least 2 of these D1 units prior to March 31st to be eligible for this plan. We have multiples of these D1s in stock, and so lead time's pretty short on these, so you can still order these prior to that March 31st for those 2 units. Additional opportunities to bundle, say, while your combine's here, having the D1 unit installed, it's a perfect time to have that bundle of Matt's package in regards to your inspection, your preventive maintenance service plan, to make sure you're ready for next harvest. And so be sure to let between service and sales know if you want to combination those groups, incentive plans up after this webinar for your R1 webinar 25 promo code, and we'll connect you with that 10% discount on your PMs also. The other promotion we have out is a thresher sheller promotion. So for a limited time till the end of February 28th of 2025, if you purchase one of our threshing and shelling pieces of equipment, such as a maze or belt thresher, you can go ahead and you can choose between either an air blast seed cleaner, which is pictured there in the center, down below, to lab cleaner, 110 volt. It comes with 2 screens. You can actually run material through it and fine clean that material. Or if you would prefer, there's a seed transfer stand that you can move to one of our threshers or shellers and bring that material with a line back basically up to a more ergonomic level. And it's a portable stand that you can kind of tuck away when you're not using it, or roll it out into your lab and be able to connect it to those threshing or shelling units. And so if you'd like to have that, we can quote you the thresher or sheller, and then you can pick and choose between those 2 free products. The other thing we have with our webinar today is we've got a new R1 pricing program. And this, of course, will be limited pre-harvest production capacity, but of course, we'd like to build as many as we can. So ALMACO is offering a limited time pricing promotion on the R1 single plot research combine that you saw earlier in today. So what we did is we put a corn package and a soybean package together. And this doesn't necessarily mean these are the only two packages we have. If you're a sorghum person or you're a small grain person, we can put a similar package together for this. So just to go through, if you would purchase a corn package, you get your base R1 combine with all the features with the premium cab. We run premium tires on our units with our headers themselves. You can pick a 60 or 66-inch wheel center. It'll come with adjustable corn sieves, all your correct concaves, your quick attach throat, a 2-row corn head. It'll come with the Harvest Master H2 system and the install. That'll come with your Mira software and your handheld computer also. It'll have the rear discharge chute, the cyclone, electric cyclone with the air delivery system, our upgraded transfer auger, which is a 6-inch transfer auger instead of a 5-inch transfer auger for your corn, and then a 40 bushel grain tank and a standard unloading auger, which is a 10-foot 6 height. That's a good package. We have multiple options that we can add to that, but this package would be great for anyone for their research corn package program. The other is the soybean package, similar R1 base, same wheel centers, you can pick and choose. We'd offer that 16mm soybean sieve and the concaves, quick attach throat, and we do the 60-inch draper header, which is our most popular header itself for soybeans. The H2 system with the install, the rear discharge chute, cyclone and air delivery, our standard transfer auger system, which you wouldn't need the upgraded version if you're only doing soybeans, and then the 40 bushel grain tank with the standard unload auger. Now there's options you can choose. If I'm looking at this list, there's additional options. You can add a straw chopper. That would be an option that we could add that would basically be above the price that's shown here of $458,550. That does not include freight to your door, so you'd have to add that depending on your location. But that gives you a promotional price for either the corn package or the soybean package. Anything additional on our opt-in package, you can talk to us in sales. We'll be glad to walk through any of those items and add accordingly to meet your research needs. So the other option you can choose from ALMACO is we have an R1 demonstrator model combine that we have available, and we'll have that basically we start in June, and we have that available basically through the wheat, small grain harvest, through the sorghum harvest, through the corn and soybean harvest in the fall. So we always like to be able to bring this machine out to your field, to your location, to your group of people, spend the day with you. If you'd like to use it for a couple of days, let us know. We can make plans accordingly, allow you to actually, we'll walk around the combine, we'll walk around the electronics, we'll actually be in the field with your specific crop, go through the settings and show you the advantages that we're showing on the documentation, but actually in the field. And it's real important to see the advantages of the rotor, the 30% increase in throughput, and all the great features that we have on the R1 package for both the rotary design of our R1. So if you want to schedule a time for that, just give us a call, send us an email at sales@almaco.com. We'll get you on the list, and then we design that layout depending on where we're going within the states on the US, and we'll set those times up accordingly.